Well, everyone, welcome to the Tree of Geek, where we talk about all the branches of geekdom, from everything comic books, Pokemon. You think about it, that it's a geek thing, and we'll discuss it. My name is Michael, and I'm joined by
Josh.
What is today's episode on, Josh? What are we here for?
So we are here tonight, and hopefully in the future, to discuss any type of random or not so random what-if scenarios when it comes to anything comic books, movies, like you said, anything really in the nerd or geek realm.
Yeah, if somebody says you're a weirdo because you like that, that's probably what we're going to talk about.
So tonight, what we decided to do, we both took about a month. We went over all of our knowledge of pop culture and comic books and stuff that most people would probably get made fun of for in high school. And we compiled our own separate lists of 7 female superheroes, or just in general heroines, that we believe could take out Thanos and Zod's son,
Lor-Zod, the adopted son of Lois and Clark. He is the son of Zod while they were in the Phantom Zone with I can't remember his mother's name. The bad lady from Superman 2.
Doesn't matter.
Baby.
She's not fighting, so it's okay.
No. I mean, she might want to tag in eventually. We'll see how this goes. But yes, 7 female. Now, and we talked about this off screen, Josh. We said maybe we don't choose the big names.
Right.
There's no Scarlet Witch on my list. There's no Wonder Woman.
Now, they were on my list, but then we decided on that role.
Yeah, they figured it'd be a little easy, so let's put a little challenge into it.
Yep, so we did what one would call a deep cut into the nerd culture.
I dive.
You dive?
Yes.
So we decided to pull out people that you may have heard of, you may not have heard of, or people you may have never even thought belong on a battlefield. Or at least this battlefield.
And I'm sure there's going to be one or two where you're going to say why.
Yeah.
But we're going to tell you why.
You might agree, you might disagree. We might get into a fist fight. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what happens.
We shall see. Yeah.
So just to get into the spirit of things, to decide who's going to get their list first, we have a D20 here.
That's right, because Dungeons & Dragons kicks ass.
It truly does.
Let's implement some D&D rules here.
I'm a DM going on 7 years, I think, and I still love to play. I love to DM. I mean, it's a fantastic little world, and I promise we will have an episode on that at some point.
I sure hope so.
So, highest rule gets to discuss first. Go ahead.
All right. Well, here we go. I have rolled a good old natty 1.
All right. So I'm starting.
That's usually my D&D luck. So, excellent.
Now, do you want to go over the entire list, or do you want to I'll start with one?
Let's ping pong it, man.
Okay. I like it. So, number 1 on my list, I pulled it. It's not exactly the lesser known. The name is definitely known, but people know very little about her. The reason I picked her is because I just finished reading the omnibus of the Secret Invasion, where the Skrulls come in, and if you watch the Disney Plus show,
the one I fell asleep in,
it's not that. This was actually good.
That's been the consensus. Yes,
I picked Jessica Drew, also known as Spider-Woman.
Okay, all right.
Most commonly seen. Her bright red outfit and
very colorful costume.
Very colorful. If you've seen the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, they play her up as the girl on the motorcycle. Completely changed her look, but I mean, hey,
different.
It's the multiverse. Yeah. I picked her because, first of all, she has her spider physiology, which means she now has her superhuman strength, speed, durability, reflexes, and her spider senses. So I feel like right off the bat, you jump on a battlefield with her and you've got an advantage. She's going to be very well aware of her surroundings. She's also got wall crawling, so from a D&D point of view, she's very dexterous. She has, and I find this one really cool, a bioelectric energy projection. So think of it as Iron Man shooting his beam out of his hand, but there's nothing shooting it. It's just her hand shooting it. She also has the ability to glide and fly, as well as I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing that was used when I looked it up, but essentially she can manipulate pheromones to not really mind control, but to kind of persuade you into doing what she wants. So, in the comics, she's actually a triple agent. She, bear with me here, was sent into S.H.I.E.L.D., who was then, they sent her back into Hydra, who then used her by sending her into S.H.I.E.L.D. So, obviously, in the comics, it's very, very debated on where her allegiance actually do lie. So, that's my first pick.
All right, well...
Beat it.
Well, first off... okay, wow, all right. Shots fired. Now, so if you say somebody, or I say somebody, and we both have someone, are we going to say right away, oh, I got that person too? Or are we just going to wait?
On the next ping pong, if like say you have her, you can just say now, hey, I have her, and then move on to the next one.
Okay, well, drum roll, I don't have her. All right, so my first character, and now listen, be square with you here, I don't have a lot of character histories on people. Okay, I don't. I probably should have. My homework. I'm slacking. I work a full-time job here. So, all right. Well, anyway, my first pick is Adam Eve, Samantha Eve Wilkins from the Invincible show, which I've heard around the block that she is the Dr. Manhattan of comics. Now, I know I tried not to go too powerful cosmic, but I mean, she does get sort of killed in the comics here and there, so she does have some weaknesses. Now, yeah, she can subatomic manipulation. She can change. You don't like that cheeseburger? Well, she can change the taste of the cheeseburger for you. If she doesn't get the right nutrients into her body by doing something, she can change the nutrients. She can create weapons, messing with matter. She can use this to fly. She can make force fields. Her telekinesis, she has a little bit of manipulating powers there. She has energy blasts, energy construct creation, as I said, elemental control, which maybe not storm level, Omega Mutant level, but she can still make some lightning and things happen. And she doesn't really die of old age or anything. She has too many injuries. She can just kind of heal herself back to her prime condition. One of the weaknesses she does have is she gets hungry because she uses a lot of this energy, so she needs to eat a lot and she can get fatigued. So yeah, that's who I have, Adam Eve from Invincible.
So I will admit, I've never watched Invincible. It is on my list.
I hope so.
Watched or read. I actually never even heard of it until just a few weeks ago.
I didn't know about it before the cartoon.
Okay.
Oh, I'd heard. I take that. I've heard of the characters, but I never really took the time of day to figure out who Omni-Man was and all that. Yeah. I thought another Superman ripoff. Mm-hmm. Who needs it?
See, I guess there's a second season coming out, or there just came out.
Yeah.
And I had friends talking about it, so I looked it up, and it looks.
The voice cast is stunning.
Really?
Walter Coggins, one of my favorite B-list actors ever, is in it. He's great.
If you're listening, you're A-list on my book.
Get back on Justified. Let's go.
So I will absolutely say I do not have her on my list.
Okay.
All right, so next up on my list, I went away from the super powered, which, by the way, I don't think we explained it. When we said keeping away from cosmic, that's referring to like Captain Marvel and anybody who gets their powers from a higher...
If they are close to a Silver Surfer, Heralds of Galactus type level...
Yes. We're sticking more to mutants or,
Earthbound is what I like to refer.
Yeah.
Like, they might be able to go into space, but basically they stick around Earth.
Right. So for my next pick, I got completely away from any type of powers. Because
Barbie.
I was thinking, not Barbie. What was Open Barbie? Did you see that?
I did not see Open Barbie.
Oppenheimer, the movie about the atomic bomb,
okay.
And Barbie came out at the same time, and people were calling it Open Barbie.
Well, I mean, I think it's serendipitous that we're doing 7 female heroes, while at the moment in the box office, Barbie is taking everybody to the woodshed.
That is true.
It is. Women are doing their thing right now. So go, Margot Robbie, if you're listening.
She's not listening.
Hey, she loves heavy metal. Okay, she loves Bullet for My Valentine. She might listen to a geek podcast somewhere.
You never know.
You never know.
My completely powerless second choice is actually post Batgirl Barbara Gordon.
About Oracle?
Oracle. When she took up the mantle as Oracle, because she's insanely intelligent. She's an incredible hacker. I mean, according to the comics, she can do anything. She's extremely well connected, especially with the birds of prey, and there's contacts all over the place that she can pull in. And she's an amazing strategist.
Her Grant Morrison run was really good. The stuff they did with the JLA and Batman stuff there was really
good. I decided to put her on the list because Intel, if they're going into this big battle, is going to be insanely important.
Of course.
I mean, there's not really much more to it than that. I do remember reading that in a recent comic adaptation, I guess they made that she could walk again. But I don't know. I didn't actually read that part. So
I never understood why she couldn't walk in the first place. As smart as people are, you're telling me that some dude could go to a junkyard and become Superman, but they couldn't get this woman to walk again?
So
whatever.
I do, yeah. Well, in the comics, I know how she got paralyzed.
Yeah, it's the smiley guy.
Yeah, okay. It's a very not pleasant story. So if you're curious, go Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So bouncing it back over, who is your next pick? I'm ready.
Well, pick number 2. We said we're not going to choose the big names. Now I know Wonder Woman's got a movie and she's all grand, but I was like, well, we can't pick Wonder Woman. So who am I going to pick? I'm going to take the chick from the Squadron Supreme, Marvel's JLA, and I'm going to take Power Princess / Warrior Woman, Zarda Shelton, who's basically Wonder Woman. I read a tale here recently where Clark Gregg's character, who's the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy, where Coulson, yes, he has a universe where nobody knows who the Avengers are, and so pretty much the Squadron Supreme are kicking the hell out of people for him, and she is absolutely ruthless. She is Wonder Woman having a very bad week, and she doesn't play any games. But anyway, she has all the basics: strength, speed, stamina, durability. She's got dual swords. She's got an invisible shield. She chucks around like Captain America. She's been known to break metal with this shield. Crazy fighting abilities. Very long lifespan. Yeah, somebody could call her the Kmart Wonder Woman, but I would not say it to her face because she's mean. She's a mean lady, and she likes to hurt people.
You need a cleanup on aisle 3. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, okay. So that's who I got as my second pick.
I dig it. Okay.
So your go.
So my third pick. This one, I'm not gonna lie. I know this one.
I appreciate you not lying.
I know she's a little on the overpower side. She was portrayed in a movie, but at the same time, I even tested this theory on people I work with. So many people have no idea who it is. So I decided,
I have an idea.
I decided, you know what? It's not really a deep cut, but I'm going to go with it. Betsy Braddock, also known as Psylocke.
Okay.
I
forgot about Psylocke.
Oh, man, how can you forget about Psylocke? So I'm actually right now reading the House of M omnibus, which the omnibus is set up. Once you've read the whole main storyline, it's followed by all these separate comics to give you the backstory of what everybody was doing during the events of the main storyline.
Right.
And there's one with Betsy Braddock, her brother, her bodyguards, and it's you realize very quickly it could be just that world. I mean, but she's actually disturbingly powerful when it comes down to it.
She takes one of those side blades and it's in your temple, man.
And it completely disorients you for hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got telekinesis, so she can just willy-nilly move stuff and throw stuff with her mind. Whatever. She actually has like a fire blast. Think like Fireball from D&D. I mean, she can just throw attacks.
Is it fire or is it psychokinetic fire?
I think it's kind of like a psychoplasma thing.
Yeah, I mean, as long as she's heating up the air to make plasma and slap you around.
She can fly, of course.
Mm-hmm.
She can create force fields just like that little girl from The Incredibles, just mentally just throw them up.
Right.
And like you just said, she creates psionic energy weapons that can cut through almost anything. And like you just said, in the comics, she'll actually stick this blade into your head, like into your skull, and it's basically a psychic attack. It completely disorients the person, and well, I mean, that's either the end of them or it gives them time to walk away,
Yeah. I tell you what, when I used to watch comics way back in the day when Jim Lee was drawing them before he went to DC, there was a lot of X-Men back then when he redid a classic cover of like the first X-Men, and like that whole entire thing he did with Storm and Psylocke and Gambit, like back when they had X-Men Blue and X-Men Yellow, Psylocke was, I mean, her like martial arts ability is pretty through the roof.
Oh, absolutely.
Too. Yeah, like I could see her and Electra just thrown down for a while. Like she's a trained assassin and samurai.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. In the House of M, it plays it off as like, oh, well, they gave Betsy and her brother like a kingdom to run, and they even say the reason she's the older twin, but the reason he's running it is because she's the soldier. She's not the political type. And I'm like, I like that. They straight up said, hey, this isn't my thing. And, here's my strengths. I'm going to capitalize on it. So that is number, 3.
Awesome. That's a good throwback. They should do more Psylocke stuff. But I don't know, there's a lot of Marvel I don't like these days. But anyway.
I'd love to see her come back. I would.
Yeah.
Preferably as Olivia Munn again.
Olivia Munn is
she's the one
she's a good actress.
Well, she's the one that portrayed Psylocke in the what was that? Days of Future Past? One of the X-Men.
No, I think it was the Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw it once.
No offense to X-Men, but they all kind of blurred together. When there's 13 movies, like
there was Wolverine in them.
That is true.
We know that. Well, my number 3 pick is, well, you didn't pick Wonder Woman, so you picked Power Princess. But how did you not pick Big Barda? Barda Free, who, I mean, let's face it, she knows how to deal with an evil despot, okay? Her and Darkseid have tangled quite a few times, and she's been known to fight Wonder Woman to a standstill. She has all the basic, strength and speed and durability like everybody else does. But it's, again, her ferocity. Like, she is a no-quit person. She will not stop. You can have to cut her arm off, and she'd probably still pick it up and hit you with it. I mean, she's a tough woman. Her hand-to-hand combat is pretty good. And she has dancing. She knows how to dance. So, I mean, it's always good to know how to Mamba.
Dance fight.
Now, she does have a weakness to Radion, which I guess all the new gods have a weakness to. I guess maybe that's their kryptonite. I haven't read a lot of DC comics, but...
Well, now, didn't she also have a relationship with Mr. Miracle?
Yeah, that's why her last name's Free, because she was married to him.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
That was Jack Kirby, I believe.
His era.
His era, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good choice.
Yeah, I like Big Barda. I always felt like the Grant Morrison JLA run that he did, like he had like 12, 13 different members on that team, so he gave like everybody a little bit. It wasn't just the big 3. He gave her a little bit of backstory, and yeah, she's definitely a good fill-in if you can't get like one of the big names, because I think she's over or underrated rather. So yeah,
no, absolutely, definitely a deep cut.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar, think a somewhat female-looking Thor.
Yeah,
but from
Man,
DC,
they make some mean babies. Wow. Yeah. I think I read somewhere she's like super tall too. Like I don't have it in front of me, but I think she's like
Amazonian.
Yeah, she's really tall, I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, kill me in the comments, but I think she's a tall lady. So American Gladiator.
Oh, man. Next on mine, another semi-deep cut, unless you're familiar with the comics. I went with Rachel Summers, who...
Almost made my list.
Doesn't have the biggest presence in the comics, but she has a very big part in, again, that side story of House of M. She's actually the direct bodyguard of Psylocke. Because, again, Psylocke is considered their royalty in this world. And Rachel Summers is the daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. If you don't know who they are, probably turn off the channel. I mean, Scott Summers is Cyclops, Jean Grey is Phoenix. Which, side note, I can't remember her name that played Phoenix in the X-Men movies.
Famke Janssen.
Thank you. Rumors are she's reprising the role in the new Deadpool movie.
But you can go hand in hand with...
It could just be a huge rumor. I don't know.
I love me some Famke
I would
Janssen.
love to see.
Really good actress.
Oh, she is. Phenomenal.
James Bond.
I actually just watched The Wolverine, where he goes to Japan again the other day. I forgot just how good that movie was. It's one of the lower ranked X-Men.
I feel like the more times you watch it, you get a little more respect for it each time.
Well, it's definitely one of the lower ranked, and the dialogue is cheesy beyond belief. But it's just a good, fun movie.
Well, I mean, he faces Super Shredder at the end, so I mean,
that is true. I was thinking that
if you wanted the Turtles crossover, there it is.
But so Rachel Summers, again, daughter of Scott Summers, Cyclops, and Jean Grey Phoenix. She has incredible telekinesis powers, easily rivaling that of Psylocke even.
I would like to say thank you for dumbing, and I wouldn't say dumbing down, but very simplifying who she is. Because if you read her Wikipedia file and you start getting into the strife and Cable and time travel, in alter dimensions. It is crazy.
Her
thanks
story
for giving
goes
the real basic. That's what people
her background goes very deep, but the basics. She's also got telepathy, which I'm sure you know is different than telekinesis. She can talk directly into your head rather than
It's good for comms.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be great. She has, and I'm probably gonna butcher this, psychometry, which is a power I've never really seen in any of the comics, but it's where when she touches an object, she can see things about that object. For example, I can't think of an example from the comics, but she could pick up a knife and see who made it, who had it, stuff like that. Like,
is this like a time thing? Like she can see who touched it and who has used it?
By touching an inanimate object, she can see things about it. And that can span, like...
I've seen movies where people have done that before. I never knew
in my head, I always thought it was like The Dead Zone. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I just watched it for my horror movie.
There you go.
Rundown, yeah.
She also has very limited, but time manipulation, where the only time I've seen her use it was in the House of M comic. She froze everybody briefly so that Sidelock and her brother could have a private reuniting because he thought she was dead. Again, read the comics. Long story. I'm not going into it here.
There's a guy on YouTube. I don't know his name, but that guy goes through like each comic book line I found. I'll have to find his name, put it in show notes or whatever they do. But yeah, he's really good at breaking everything down. And
then the last thing, it's not really a power, but she was actually considered one of the first Omega level mutants. Again, you'll have to look at timelines to understand, but she is extremely powerful, and yet very, very few people have any idea who she even is.
Well, she's always been put on like a Great Lakes Avengers type team, like X-Men C. I don't know what they're called, but she's never really been like on the main roster. Which maybe instead of screwing with all the characters they got around today, maybe they could bring back some older ones and give them some light.
Yeah.
So won't go into my rant there. Would you like me to go?
I mean, this is the place for ranting, though.
It is a place for ranting.
Yep, go right ahead. Who's your next?
Okay. Oh, not rant. Rant. Character, not rant. I got you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm really surprised we haven't had any duplicates yet.
No, but like I said, Rachel was almost on my list. She was one of my last three possibles. My next character, another DC character. I mean, if you're going to fight a Kryptonian, why not bring in a Kryptonian? I'm not talking about the Supergirl or that Supergirl, the one on the TV show. I'm talking about Power Girl. Kara Zor-El, the one in the white suit, the blonde,
who's not modest.
No. No. Well, her Kryptonian physiology is like everybody else. She has the powers underneath the yellow sun. Same thing as like Superman and Supergirl. But I've seen, in my opinion, I think that she's best. She's a little bit stronger, I think, than some of the other Supergirl iterations. She's bested the Michael Turner version, I do believe. And I feel like I needed somebody that knew a Kryptonian to think like a Kryptonian. So that's the one I chose. She's my favorite Supergirl. I don't think she gets enough love, actually. I feel like they should put her in some more comics. Or maybe they are. Maybe I need to read more comics. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I got too much on my plate. I don't know. Is there anything I can say specific about? Was she boxing, karate? She's apparently genius level intellect, which I guess a lot of people don't give credit to the Kryptonians, that they are really smart. I mean, Superman's pretty intelligent. They think he just punches things, but he's a pretty smart guy.
Well, now, she's the same one that becomes the normal Supergirl. It's just this is a different universe with different circumstances, right?
Well, DC's rebooted their universe, I'm just going to say 52 times by now. Okay. So I don't even know where she lies right now.
Okay.
I haven't really picked up a DC comic in quite some time. I keep up on little things, but, And she's a super ventriloquist. So, I mean, she could really throw her voice, throw these guys off. Thanos thinks she's at the left. Zod thinks she's at the right. Somebody comes in and blitzes, got a little deflection.
Zod's son.
Well, his name is Lor-Zod.
I know.
So, yeah, okay. We'll call him Lor or Chris Kent. We can call him Chris Kent. That's.
I get it. I dig it. All right. So, all right, we got 3 left. I will say one of my 3 has no connection to the DC or Marvel universe at all.
Good.
I feel like saving that one for last because I gave that one a lot of thought. And I bounced it around quite a bit. So we'll just, for now, the next one on my list was very unknown until a movie came out where she was essentially co-starring next to Hugh Jackman. That's right, The Greatest Showman. No, I'm just kidding.
The Prestige.
Yeah. Laura Kinney, also known as X-23, also known as Logan's daughter.
She needs to come back.
She absolutely needs to come back. That actress, she was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So think Logan, but female, essentially. Superhuman strength. I love, when I was looking it up, it's like durability. It's like, is she a condom? It's the weirdest terminology to use when describing a person.
Well, that's how much damage you can take.
But, okay, I'll give you that. Heightened senses. I mean, she's got her wolf spidey sense, I guess. Wolverine, sorry. Extremely fast reflexes, agility, and animal-like attributes, such as, we saw it in the movie, running, climbing, like, just being nuts. I loved it. I loved that movie. And just like Wolverine, she has her adamantium-plated retractable claws in her hands and in her feet, which
it's good for a soccer kick.
She also has a full regenerative healing factor, just like he does. And she's also very psychic resistant. I did not know that one, but apparently she is, according to the wikis. But yeah, I'm going with X-23. I think that she would be a very formidable foe in the battlefield.
Well, her and Big Barda, and I think Power Princess would go
Big
very
Barda is just going to throw X-23.
Yeah, just like Colossus and Wolverine.
Exactly. That's what was in my head. Yep.
I read a comic 2 years-ish where X-23 took on Taskmaster, and we're not talking about the movie version.
That movie doesn't exist.
Well, she took him on in the sewer, and she beat the living hell out of him. A guy who's taking on Wolverine, a guy that's taking on Captain America, and several other like really good hand-to-hand guys, and she mopped the floor with him. She's tough. She's wicked. I like X-23. My next character has appeared very briefly on screen, played by Charlize Theron, who is the wife of Doctor Strange, Clea Strange, who for a while here recently was the Sorcerer Supreme until he came back again. And if you haven't read The Death of Doctor Strange that came out the other year, very good comic run. Very good. It's one of the few comics I've read recently, and it was very well done. Very funny, but yet nice and serious. So anyway, she has all the abilities of Doctor Strange, all the sorcery tapping in. But not only that, she is a Feltine hybrid. She's half Feltine, which I'm not 100% exactly sure what it is. It's kind of like a sort of a demonic type thing. And she's the other half is dark dimensional mortal. Mm-hmm. So if she's in a situation and she's using magic, one way, she's using the Earth's magical pool, and somebody does something to cut that off, you might think, oh, she's done. Well, what's she going to do now? She's a magician with no tricks. No, she can then tap into the dark dimension and use the magic from there to get the job done. So she's like
she has a backup battery.
She's a dual wielder of magic, which is pretty sweet, you know. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong. She's the one. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, but it's been over a year now.
Stop living under rocks.
One of the end credit scenes in Multiverse of Madness shows a woman in purple talk to Doctor Strange, cut open reality, and they step into the dark dimension. That was supposed to be Clea, correct?
I do believe, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I wasn't sure if it was her. I mean, I saw a credit, but then shortly after that's when I read The Death of Doctor Strange. And I was like, well, that definitely is her.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, another good movie. I can't give it super high ratings just because I didn't like how dark they got there for a little bit. Because superheroes are supposed to be, you know, the good. And I felt like they went really dark in the ending. But, I mean, not everybody's perfect. And that goes for heroes too.
Right. Yeah, that's what we love about Marvel is the flaws. You
gotta
see the flaws in their humanity. Yeah, so my pick was Clea Strange. Like I said, magic, necromancy. She can mess with the dead. She knows pretty much everything. Well, I wouldn't say everything Doctor Strange knows, but we'll give her 75% at least. I mean, if they're knocking boots, they're probably telling each other trade secrets, right?
I mean,
yeah. But she's apparently weak to Mysterium, whatever that is. I mean, they just make up weaknesses for people.
Well, of course.
You know, so
I mean, look at they
make up everything. Magic metal.
Well, they make up everything. Look at Avatar. What are we here to get? Unobtainium. Like, just stop.
Pocahontas in space.
Think about that for a minute.
Leave it there.
This very hard to acquire ore is called unobtainium.
Why is it called that?
Because it's unobtainable.
Wow. Like, mind blown.
Right.
Come on.
That was my biggest issue with that whole. I mean, believe me, there's other issues with that movie, but my biggest one was the complete lack of originality in just that one little area.
Yeah, and, I don't know why Disney didn't take credit because, they're making all the live action movies from their cartoons. They should have been, hey, we already redid Pocahontas. It's called Avatar. There it is.
Just reskin it.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man.
Anyway, there's a mini rant for that one.
So number 6.
Number 6. Coming down the line.
I went with one of my all-time favorite heroes, dove into their story, and picked somebody out that is very similar to them because, again, it's one of my favorite heroes, but female.
All right.
What can I say? So I picked Jessie Quick.
Almost made my list.
Earth 2 version of the Flash. Not much in the notes other than she is a genius. Earth 2 standards. She is not like a super genius, but she is a genius. Like, she's very good at building and figuring things out. And she's just freaking fast. I mean, having a speedster on your team as well, you have, now if you've seen the movies, you don't want to take advantage of it, but you have time travel.
Does that movie exist?
5 out of 10 exist, maybe.
Then I will say this, keep that Supergirl. Somehow find that actress, Sasha Calle, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, bring her. James Gunn, bring her in.
If you don't know what we're referring to, the new Flash movie that just released, personally, his personal issues aside, I didn't like Ezra Miller as Barry Allen. I'm sorry, I didn't. And I'll say this 100 times over, they should have brought Grant Gustin in from the CW. I absolutely loved his portrayal, even though a certain writer on that show of the CW completely destroyed that character, and I will stand by that till I die. Grant Gustin, you're still amazing. But the movie itself, The Flash, it was fun, but they tried to base it very loosely on Flashpoint. And by loosely, I mean they looked at the cover and said, "Oh, I can do this."
Watch the cartoon version of it.
Yes,
that they made. That one was
almost shot for shot like the graphic novel, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. DC's animated videos from a couple years ago were really, really well done, I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. The Long Halloween,
Shazam, Superman, good. Yeah.
Okay, so my number 6 is Jessie Quick. She's freakishly fast. She's smart. And why not? What's that?
So there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, she's a speedster.
Yeah, you got to have somebody fast. Yeah. I figured my Kryptonian was fast. So that's where I went at,
Yeah.
And
but for the record, ladies and gentlemen, in all the comics, the Flash does always beat Superman.
Yeah, but that's Superman. Like, you ever seen a woman, when they want something done, they get it done. That's why Jessie Quick is so quick, because she's got a little pep to her step. There's a
comic where the Flash outruns, I don't want to say creation, but
there's a couple Flash iterations that are just insane. Their speed. Insane. I never read a lot of Flash, but his feats they're up there.
Growing up, it was Batman and Flash for me. And the older I got, the more I understood where these characters are coming from. The Flash has just always been my favorite because he's pure-hearted to the end, but he's also going to make the decisions that suck.
Yeah.
And he, has sacrificed himself many times. So go ahead, number 6. Let's hear it.
Well, this character, when we were texting earlier, you mentioned somebody, and now I already had this printed off, so I didn't take it from you. But this character, according to the Great Watcher, has defeated Thanos already. Now, it was off panel. Squirrel Girl, Doreen Green, at some point defeated Thanos while the Watcher was watching. He said it wasn't a clone. It wasn't a robot. Yep. It wasn't a simulacrum.
This is him.
Thanos. So why not put somebody on the team that's already kicked his ass?
So I had Squirrel Girl on my list. And the only reason I took her off was because she already beat him. If you don't know who Squirrel Girl is, it's exactly what it sounds like. She controls squirrels.
Yes, yeah. Well, I guess I should say her superpowers. She's a mutant. Strength, speed, agility, reflexes. She has superhuman jaw strength. She can leap. I do believe she has a prehensile tail. I'm sorry. Night vision. One of her, I think, squirrels is called Tippy Toes.
Yes.
She has knuckle, like some sort of a glove or something that has spikes on her knuckles that can tear through wood. She's a computer science expert. So it's not just chewing on, forestry greens for her. Like, she's pretty smart getting the keys. It says, under a Squirrel Girl's costume, Deadpool's Guide to Supervillain Cards, a series of 4,522 educational trading cards written by Deadpool. Doreen relies on these as a primary source of information whenever she is facing a villain. So, Deadpool, I don't know if she had that card in her back pocket, but she's like, Thanos, well, I've read that one already. and took him out. So, can't wait for Deadpool. Little side note, can't wait for Deadpool.
Maybe Squirrel will be in it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. I didn't know really about her until a couple of years ago. I was like, this is a joke, but she's actually pretty tough. She sounds like a joke, and I think that's how she beats a lot of people that look at her, they laugh. Next thing you know, they're choking on their own nuts. And that's my character. So on to you for your final character that's not DC or Marvel. You said
my final character. I had the most ridiculous time trying to fill the 7th slot. I went through so many different people. I mean,
did as well.
Like,
I feel you.
So many. And I dropped. I actually had my list completed until like 2 hours before meeting to record this, when I had made the hard decision of, no, I'm taking this person off and replacing it with this person from the same franchise.
Can you tell us who you took off at the...
As soon as I do, you're going to... So I took off Hermione Granger. I had her on as being amazing at defensive spells, mind-altering spells, just...
Really thinking outside the box.
Spells.
Okay.
But the more I thought about it, in a situation like this, it's not going to be about, if I do this, we'll be protected. Give me 5 minutes. No, this is a go, go, go. So my final 7th spot belongs to Bellatrix Lestrange.
A mean woman.
Because you want all right, look at the list. We have Jessie Quick. She's extremely fast. We have Barbara Gordon as Oracle. She's extremely smart. We have Jessica Drew and Betsy Braddock, who both have psionic type powers. And then you have Rachel Summers again, who's got psionic and telepathy. X-23 is just a savage beast. You want somebody that's just gonna go ham and go in there.
Now,
and Bellatrix Lestrange, insanely strong offensive magic, extremely adept in torture magic, which means
she was a bad guy, right?
Oh yeah, extremely bad.
Okay,
but we know she has absolutely no qualms in doing the hard thing.
Right.
And she has, again, I'm gonna butcher this one. Legitimacy. I don't know how to pronounce it.
She messes with lagoons. She messes with beans. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. It's the act of getting into someone's head, like magically. Because if you remember the Harry Potter books, Snape was teaching Harry occlumancy, I think it was, in order to block people so you can't read their mind. She can get into their heads. So she can get in, she can pick stuff apart, figure out what's what. I know she's insane, but I think she'd be extremely valuable.
Before we rebuttal, I'll give you my final person here.
Okay.
My final person. Now, initially, this person was not Marvel. This person was not DC. It was not Top Cow. I'm not sure where my notes went here. I have it mostly memorized there anyway, because I'm a genius.
So it's funny. I printed all my stuff out too, but it's on the printer at work.
Oh, well, that's where you need it.
Somebody's going to be like, what is this?
Whoa. He's demoted. Now, okay. So if you're familiar with Spawn and the characters around Spawn, you might have seen a lady with a lot of ribbons ripping around. Her name was Angela. And Angela recently has brought, I don't know how recently, but somewhat recently been drawn into the Marvel universe. And she has been sort of rewritten as Thor's long-lost sister. She is Odin's daughter. She's Angela, Odin's daughter.
So, Hela.
Like that. No, she's not Hela. She's not Hela. She has all of the Asgardian powers. There it is. All their physiology, the long life, the speed, the strength, enhanced senses. She can live in the vacuum of space. Now, this one was pushed in a little bit because we didn't want to go cosmic, but she's not really a cosmic character because she was from a place called Heaven, just with an E, just H-E-V-E-N in the Image comics. So she was kind of like angelic. So maybe not cosmic, but I mean, Big Bart is a new god, so why not, She's probably more cosmic than Angela.
Earthbound?
Well, interdimensional.
Okay.
She doesn't go to other planets or galaxies.
I'll give it to you.
I figured that was the caveat. I mean, that was the little loophole.
I have Bellatrix, so I'll give it to you.
She has a suit of armor worn by the angels of heaven. She's been known to take lightning strikes and things like that with no issue. I guess Thor hit her with the hammer once, and she was like, "Okay." And so yeah, she's a tough lady, born to be a warrior. Like her whole purpose, I do believe, was to. She was born and bred to fight demons and anything that was hellspawn. They sent her in as, I guess, a Valkyrie type lady to just angelic nature to go in there and just rip apart people. She was killed in Image Comics by Malbolgia, which is their like big giant Satan hell person. But now she's in Marvel and she's an Asgardian. So
she'll be killed by Mephisto.
Maybe, yes. If he's ever brought it. Like, come on, Marvel, let's go.
It's like during Scarlet Witch's WandaVision. They hinted so hard that the devil's in the details. I'm like, they're going to do it. They're going to freaking do it.
Everybody was.
And I remember watching so many YouTube reviews and like deep dives into it. And
if you can look on this panel to the left, you'll see.
And everybody's like, it's going to be the bunny. The bunny is going to be Mephisto. Nope.
Funicula, maybe.
Apparently there was a deleted scene though where the bunny turned into like a demon of sorts because it's supposed to be her familiar and chased the kids around the house. But they took it out. Well, supposedly because I think it's China or like there's a country somewhere that they disagree with any type of depiction of the devil. And if it's in it, they won't allow it in the country. And the rumor was Disney pulled the idea because, well, that's a pretty big money marketing area, which I can totally see.
Yeah, gotta make that money. Gotta make that green. Yeah.
So, rebuttals, huh?
Rebuttals. My only no, I think you have a good, solid team. A little bit more street level, in my opinion. Now, some of them are, powerful. Belichick's a strange, not so much a heroine, but, I mean, if the world's crumbling down, even Dr. Doom has jumped in to help people before. Lex Luthor's helped Superman before, if the reason's right.
Norman Osborn has.
Yeah. I could see Thanos, we didn't even tell this part. The whole deal was why did you choose females? We decided in this scenario that Thanos and Lor-Zod had incapacitated all the other males on this mixture Earth. So Superman's out, Martian Manhunter's out, Thor's out, Captain America's sleeping somewhere. So it's up to women to save the day. So
like they do every day.
Yeah, every day. I mean, Emily saves my day every day. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is she's going to see that Voldemort's snoozing and not looking so good. And she's like, what happened? And they're like, well, it was that dude over there. She's like, well, I'm going to punch Grimace really hard.
And if you go by the books or even the movies, they hint at it. But in the books, Bellatrix is absolutely ridiculously obsessed and in love with him.
Very much.
So
even I knew that.
If someone takes him down, she's going to go nuts. And in my opinion, she'll run into it just casting killing curses left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, she might hit her own people. I don't know.
But she doesn't care.
And at the very end, you'll have Molly Weasley come running in and killing her. So, I mean,
it all works out.
That's a spoiler, too. But if you haven't seen the last Harry Potter, then you've been living under a rock for, 10 years?
Well, don't worry. They're redoing them all, and you'll get a second chance. I guess the main question is here, do I believe that your team, your lineup, could stand toe-to-toe with those two angry men? And, I think they could.
Let's look at it from the other side. We know that Lor-Zod has all the powers of a Kryptonian. We know that he's extremely strong. And we know that Thanos, he's extremely strong. He's also an incredible strategist.
He does have a lot of strength against mental.
Does he have Infinity Stones?
I think if we said he had at least two, I don't know which two they would be. You could randomly spin or something.
So he'd be like Infinity Wars level Thanos, not Endgame level Thanos, where he has them all. Or even Endgame Final Battle level, where he's just a big pissed off purple man.
Yes. I didn't think he had any. I thought maybe this was his quest to find another. He's like, here's a whole new reality/universe. There got to be some stones up in this piece too. I'm going to go find. Yeah. And I'm going to incorporate this little dude here. He seems easily manipulated. Let's take care of him. I will say that, I was telling you this earlier. Now, this is a different reality. I have to tell you, I didn't realize I did a little more research today, but there's a different reality of Chris Kent, Lor-Zod, where he was in something called the Arena type storyline where there was a bunch of Supermen that had to fight each other. So you had Kingdom Come Superman. I do believe it was either that one or the Dark Knight Returns Superman, one of those two. Mm-hmm. And it was the Red Sun Superman. There was a three-way battle between them, and this Chris Kent easily kind of held him at bay and beat him up. He eventually was killed by the guy who was running the whole thing, but the fact that he could still take on two other pretty badass Supermen from different universes is still pretty good. I like to say this is like the prime. Like when we talk about these characters, I know there's so many different iterations, But like someone's like, well, the Hulk could beat Superman, or vice versa. It's like, well, which one are you talking about? I like to say it's Superman. It's Hulk. So in this version, this is just Chris Kent, the best.
We're not talking Edward Norton versus what's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, thank you. We're talking straight up.
Yeah, this dude, just the best iteration in your mind of this character. Yeah.
No, yeah, I get that.
So,
but Psylocke for me is still Olivia Munn. Just saying.
Yeah. I can see her jumping on Thanos' head and like straight, sticking that dagger in there. I think our teams are well balanced and good divide and conquering.
Mantis kind of did that.
Yeah.
Putting him in that dazed state.
She can put Ego to sleep. I mean, yeah.
So we'd love to hear from you too, in the comments or whatever. Let us know.
Who did we leave off? Or like, how did you forget about this person?
Yeah, who did we forget? What team would you build? Which of our teams? Both? Neither? Can they win?
If they went toe to toe, 7 versus 7, who would win? I'd love to know that answer.
That would be good. Squirrel Girl would obviously take everybody.
I mean, she already beat Thanos. Why not? She's beat everybody.
Bellatrix should be just knocking squirrels off left and right.
I wonder if what's that death curse called in Harry Potter that you're not supposed to do?
Avada Kedavra.
Would that work on Thanos?
I mean, maybe.
He's an eternal. I mean, he's not just human.
Based on that's a whole other discussion. Careful right there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, where does it lie? I'm not fighting against something. I'm just saying, like, his physiology.
I mean, that's a whole new discussion. There's a theory. I don't know if you knew it or not. The movie The Eternals. Thanos was one of them.
In the comics, correct.
An Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
And that I want to kill half of the population of everything was actually to stop more Celestials from being born. Because the Celestials fed off of the energy of those living on the planet that they were inside of.
Thanos is right.
You read the bathroom stall.
Oh, this was fun, man. This was a blast.
This was.
I was a bit nervous doing this first one. I had a great time. I would love to do this again.
I agree. This is episode 00. This is
00.
Essentially our test run.
Yeah.
Should we keep doing this?
Yeah, well, let us know.
How horrible do I sound on radio? I have a voice or a face for radio. We'll put it that way.
Yes. I love your smile.
Yep.
Yeah. We want to, throw us some ideas. What do you think we should discuss in the future? I mean, I want to talk about Pokemon. I want to talk about D&D. I want to talk about...
Yeah, did you enjoy these lists? Do you want to see more hypothetical lists? Do you just want us to talk about a movie coming out? Or tell us what you want.
Yeah.
This is... There's many branches on this tree. I want to explore them all.
Yeah, let's get out there. Now, I think it might be time to make like a train lead.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
I had to pull that one out. All right, man. Take care, guys.
All right, take it easy.